and they will vote for either Team A or Team B.
We should just wait a bit. Give me 2 minutes. I'm coming back.
Okay, sure. Okay, so let me go ahead and Mary, we're going to start with you. So what team would you like to? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and make the topic. Let me make the topic. Okay, so having siblings is healthier for a child than growing up as an only child.
I suggest this topic. I suggest
Of
this.
course, yes. Team A.
Okay, so that's Mary. Yes, and thank you, Jamie, for suggesting this topic. We lost Hua. Mohammed went away. Jamie, how about you?
B.
B. Oh. Okay. Okay, good. Okay,
it doesn't matter, I think.
Okay, so Bijan, how about you?
Team B.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Okay.
With Jamie.
Okay.
I'm
Just
with Jamie.
Okay. Hiroki, how about you?
I just want to join the discussion, but since members are not so many, do you need to join? Need to join the debate?
It would be good, yes.
Yeah, come on.
If so, maybe I think how can I say?
You could be a judge if you want.
I don't know. Judge is heavy too. Having said, I think it's not necessary. So which team?
Wait, would you say it's not necessary?
Yeah.
Okay, then Team B.
Yes. Team B. Okay.
Okay. Okay, we lost Abdul. Okay, Christina's back. Christina, are you here?
Arigato, Hiroki. Arigato.
Christina.
Oh, you're welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Hi,
Christina.
Hello. Chin Chao. Hi.
How are you?
I think maybe not good.
Not good. Oh, boy.
Okay. Did you want to participate?
Well, I just miss our class, and I think I just want to be a listener today.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so Mohammed, did you want to pick a team? Are you back?
Yeah, I am back.
Okay, did you want to pick a team? Did you hear the topic?
Yeah, so who wanna be in my team? Who wanted to be in my team?
So, well, if you,
Wait a minute, pick a team first.
so right now, okay, so let me explain something. Right now, Mary is by herself on Team A. On Team B, we have Jamie, Bijan, and Hiroki. So do you think that it's healthier for a child to have brothers and sisters, or it's okay growing up alone as an only child?
Well, I'm going in favor of it.
In favor of what? In favor of having brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
Okay, so that puts you on Team A with Mary, okay?
Wow.
Okay.
Well, excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah. After I hear the name of the topic, so may I participate in the class in our lesson?
Sure.
Yes, yeah. Excellent. Yeah, why not?
What team would you like to join?
Well, I'd like to join the team which is the child should be have a brother or a sister.
Okay, it's Team A.
Yes.
Team A.
Thank you.
Team A.
Okay, so nice. We have Johnny.
3-2.
Yeah.
Johnny, are you? So what do you want to do, Johnny? Do you want to be the judge? Do you want to join one of the teams? What do you want to do?
I want to join a team.
Okay, so which team would you like to join?
Team B.
Oh.
All right.
Ooh, okay.
Selfish person, John.
Come on, dude.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So right now, let me tell you what the teams are. So we don't have anybody on Team C. We don't have a judge. Okay. Well, maybe I might need to be a judge then. I don't like being a judge. I really hate it. But okay.
Because this is a very existential situation, and no one wants to judge.
You feel pressure. Okay.
This is
All right.
the Call of
So
Duty.
Yes. So let's okay. So here are the teams. Let me read the teams out. Team A, we have Mary, Mohammed, Christina. Team B, we have Jamie, Bijan, Hiroki, and Johnny. Oh my gosh. Okay. So again, let me repeat the topic one more time. The topic again is having siblings is healthier for a child. And let me be clear when we say healthier, what that means. You know, we're talking in terms of emotional health, uh, those kind of things, okay? Not necessarily physical health, okay, but more emotional health, okay? For a child when growing up, growing up as an only child, okay? All right. So we're going to go ahead and begin. And remember the general rules that each person gets approximately 3, 4, 5 minutes to speak their idea. We'll take turns. We'll go from team A to team B, back to team A, back to team B, etc., etc. And at the end, I will make a decision which team I thought did a better job of presenting their arguments. Okay. So, Mary, we're going to start with you on team A.
Me? Okay, thank you. I always think it's healthy for a child to grow up with siblings. Like me, I have been brought up in a big family. I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters, which make me feel so satisfied. I have always been happy with them. And as a blind person, you all know, and would have a lot of trouble in our life, and my siblings always help me a lot. And generally, if a child grows up in a family alone, I guess in a lot of ways it's not good for them. Once that, and their parents maybe pay all of their attention to him or her, but it could be something bad. Probably too much attention is not good for a person. He or she might be spoiled. She or he doesn't even know how to get along with people. And another way, if we all know we do not share things, maybe a lot of things. We do not want to share a lot of things with parents or elders, and because different generation always have gap. And if we have our siblings, of course, we can share something which we do not want to share with our parents, and we can get some advice from them. It's also help for us. For and usually our parents need to work. They do not have enough time to work or to play with us. With siblings, we are not alone. We can talk, we can play together, we can share things, and we can always help each other. Even when we grow up, when our parents left us, we are not alone. We always feel we have a family. And I remember in my life, I went through a really dark period of time in my life, and I always think my siblings were the biggest help for me. One of my sisters tried to teach me to do something, to tell me I was still useful for the family, for the society, and I will make my life meaningful. And of course, it helps me a lot, and it's also a way for me to grow up mentally and physically. And I don't know why people think it's not good for a child to have siblings. Probably they could use everything in their family, but I don't think it's really good if they I can get something from here there, I guess it can um, decrease their ability to create, their creativity when they get up and and our family could spoil us, but people in the society will not, right? We have to get used to everything to learn how to work with others. It's also, like I said, it's also a good way to learn how to do teamwork from our childhood. So uh, that's what I want to say. Thank you.
Okay, well done, Mary. Well done. Very well done. Okay, so let's go on to now. We'll go, Jamie. We'll go to you on Team B. Mr. Jamie.
I'm ready. I'm here.
Okay.
Well, as you might know, I suggested this topic because I am an only child. And growing up, I was alone, but I didn't really mind because I'm a big reader and had my books that keeping company, and also who had a ton of friends. So I was never really alone because I have my friends around me. And there's one of the stereotypes of an only child is that we think of our friends as like brothers and sisters. And the kids I grew up with were like my brothers and sisters. We're all very close. And there's also a stereotype that we're brats, but nah, I was never a brat. But I think the best part of being an only child is that, I didn't have to fight for my parents' attention. If I wanted their help, I could just go to them myself, and not worry about them paying favorites. So yeah, being an only child is definitely, in my opinion, one of the best ways to go. Oh yeah, by the way, we didn't have to fight for the bathroom.
Okay. Thank you, Jamie. Okay, so Mohammed, can you please tell us why you chose Team A?
Because as you know, you would know that I am the only son of my parents. So I feel that I should have brothers, because in our society there is a lot of people who's going against you. In order to safeguard you, in order to protect you, you have some protector, you have some safeguard for yourself, so that he come and he guide you, he advise you, you shouldn't have to do that, you shouldn't have to do this thing, so that you can go in a straight way. While I feel that I should have a brother, while it is up to the God that why he do not give me the brother. So because the experiences I learned from the society, that they always they always come and they almost slap you on your face, means in a different faces, on a different way of life. Like whenever you buy something, they give you bad thing. Whenever you go to the petrol station in order to refuel your fuel, they give the bad quality. Means that there is a lot of people, so you must need a certain type of companion for yourself. He can protect you from every ill feelings of the society. So that is why I need to have a brother, but unfortunately now it is not possible.
Okay, if you don't mind me asking, do you have any sisters?
Yeah, I have sisters, but they are inside home. You already know that.
Okay.
Because we are living in an Eastern society, and in Eastern the women are not allowed to go outside.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Mohammed.
Thank you.
Okay, so now, we're going fast. Now we'll go to Bijan. Bijan, please tell us about why you chose Team B.
Okay. Actually, at first, I want to respect to the opinions of the Team A. But if I choose the Team B, it's because of, a strategic situation which happened around the world. I mean, maybe in ideal situation, it's very good idea to have a great family with too many, I mean, children. But you know, in according to I mean, statistic and the population of the world, I think we should try to adapt our desires. I mean, self desires, and according to the a global situation, because there is too many, I mean, population, and you know, in near future we have so much problems about the resources. I mean, major resources like water, like, I mean, having good facilities for education. But you know, I think about a nuclear family with one child, that parents can try to train the child in a good situation, and I mean, try to prepare that child for communication with the society. You know, as a, I mean, the nuclear family is a part of a society, and parents, I think parents just only, they should try to prepare and I mean, give the child a very I mean, love and support, and have a very good communication. But I mean, the major duties of society is that I mean, make a situation for children to have communication in I mean, in the society, but not just only in the family.
Okay.
My idea.
Okay. All righty. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you, Bijan. Okay. I'm just going to remind everybody. Remember, when I do my assessment, when I judge, what I'm going to do is I'm going to relate what everyone says to the topic, and obviously that's what I'm going to focus on. So I just want to remind everybody. Okay. So let's go back to Team A. Okay, Team A, Christina. And I will say hello to Amin is here. Hey, Amin.
Hello, everyone.
So, Amin, you're the judge, right? Okay.
I only had the,
Okay.
yeah,
So,
oh, the hanging judge. Uh-oh.
okay, so Christina, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, come on, share with us all your wisdom, all your knowledge. Come on.
Oh, well, all the ideas that the team B have shared with us may be right, but in my opinion, each family should have more than one people because of the main reason. The first is, if in the family we just have only child, I think the child is very sad because they don't have people to share with them everything, sadness, happiness, and or simply it's just the story of the school. And sometimes maybe children can have a argue. I think it's very funny and very happy. Yes, and the second reason is all of you know I'm in the southern country, and each children should take care our parents when they are mature is very important. So in the family which have more than one children, it is very good for them because they can take care of our of their parents, and as you know, if the family have the crowded children, it is very good. And according to no no the still according to the research of a university in my country, shows that there are more than 82% of students said that they like to be in the family which have more than two uh yeah two children. Thank you. That's all about my opinion. Thanks for listening.
Okay, thank you, Christina. Good job. Very good job. Very good job. Okay, interesting. So, and I think, and Christina, you're only child, right? Christina?
Yes, I'm
yeah,
only child,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's very sad.
Not really,
Yes.
Christina. I'm
Okay.
happy.
Okay. Well, let's go. We'll have a chance to discuss this in general when we finish. Let's go now to Hiroki. So we finished with Team A. So now we'll just go to the remaining people on Team B. So let's go to Hiroki. Mr. Hiroki, why did you choose Team B?
Yes, because the having siblings is not necessity of to have a healthy emotionally kind of mind. Actually, a lot of people who suffer the mental problem and which has a siblings also same as the only child. Also, how can I say? So maybe everything has a flip side of coin. Also, it's an individual difference actually, and in my case, I have a siblings, but because of that, maybe I have how can I say? Sometimes I suffer from the inferior complex because my siblings, older siblings, can do many things better than me. So also, so these elderly people spoiled me, and so I would be selfish probably. So, but the only child, maybe some people are selfish, but some people are not. Like as people who have siblings, actually, and also they can communicate with. Usually, most of them go to school or the kindergarten, so or have a kid friend around there, around his house. So it doesn't mean it means they are not alone. They can train practice how to communicate with other kids like siblings or maybe in my opinion, it's not necessary to having siblings, not necessary to have a healthy kind of emotional stable people kind of thing. That's my opinion.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So Johnny, you're going to be the last person for Team B.
Okay.
So please share with us all your wonderful knowledge.
A penny for my thoughts, right?
Yes.
What I have to say is very simple. To me, this is about people's personality, not about whether they are siblings or friends or parents or cousins or nephews and nieces. It's not about what kind of blood relationship that the person has with you. I'm not an only child, and I have siblings, sisters, and they didn't make my life easier necessarily. They didn't solve my problems. They didn't solve my loneliness when I felt lonely, or they didn't even care about my problems. So when people say, for instance, that having siblings will, magically solve your life and magically will have a friends forever, that's just silly. That's just not always true. And in fact, in my country, I haven't seen any family with any siblings who behave like best friends or anything like that. In fact, they try to kill each other. Well, my sister actually tried many times. Just last year, she threw boiling water at me. And then she tried to send me to
Did you
jail.
duck?
No, I couldn't because I didn't see it coming because my mother was in front of me. So she also got something of that. And when we were teenagers, she tried to stab me, with a knife, and she actually could cut me twice in my arm. And we were always fighting, and nowadays we don't talk each other for that last episode. So here's an example of how unhealthy a sibling relationship can be when they just don't get along. And at least in my country, as I will repeat it, it is always the case here. But if you tell me that perhaps in your country it is usual to see brothers and sisters behaving like best friends, that good for you. But it's not always the case. When only child people, when they're only child and they say, "Well, I feel lonely," for instance, when I hear these cases, all I can think of is like some kind of analogy with people who wants to be married and people who wants to get out of marriage. you know, I think there is also a phrase, the grass is green on the other side. But it's not actually always the case. In fact, when you have too many siblings, they all try to compete with each other, compete for the parents' love, compete with each other. Who is the best child? Who is the best son? Who is the best sister? Trying to make their parents proud of them, and and trying to pick each other's eye. No, not literally, but and siblings get this kind of attitude of being manipulative. They're not always friends, and in fact, they sometimes try to complicate your life so that their life is gonna be better. I haven't seen any brother defending the youngest brother. When brothers defend their sisters, not because they're brother, just because they're, he's a man and she's a woman, and here defending women is very important in my country. So it's not about being siblings; it's about just gender role. And I am the youngest, and none of my siblings, none of my sisters have ever defend me in anything. They have never lend a hands when I was in trouble, when I was sad, when I was depressed. They will, they never say, if you want to talk, you can talk to me. They never say that. They actually try to run away from that kind of situations because they feel awkward about it. It's not like you're gonna have a friend, and if you want to have a friend, you can always have a friend. Who may not necessarily be your sister or brother. So the way I see it is, having siblings is actually the opposite of having a healthy life. It only complicates it more. And that's what I have to say about that.
Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, you guys are giving me a tough job.
Excuse me. It's so real. I mean, facts about a real society. as I faced and engaged in this situation in reality in my country. I mean, the
hey,
two brothers,
Bijan,
brothers or two sisters want to kill each other because of, I mean.
But Bijan, wait, hang on 1 minute. Let's do this. Okay, so I want to be I apologize for sounding very official and very formal, but I want to do this the right way. So let me go ahead now. Everybody has had an opportunity to speak. What I will allow you guys to do before I vote on which team did a better job, from my perspective, what I'll allow you guys to do, if you have Team A has any questions for Team B, okay, one question. So does anybody on Team A, so Team A again is Mary, Mohammed, and Christina. Does anybody on Team A have a question for Team B? Any questions?
Any questions? I feel sorry for Johnny.
Okay.
I really feel sorry.
Well, it's not, it's not about feeling. Okay, it's not about feeling sorry. We're in a debate. Okay. So,
Richard, I want to share something.
Well, wait. So let me explain the way this works. I want to make sure it's really clear. I want to follow the. So
I have a question for Johnny.
Well, wait, hang on 1 second. Let me explain to Mohammed I want to make sure it's really clear how we do this. So what we do is we don't allow people to add additional things, or what we want to do is, because people had their chance to speak, but in this phase, if Team A, you heard somebody from Team B say something and you want clarification, or based upon what Team B said, you want to, maybe they said something that you don't understand. Okay, so this is your chance to ask a question to Team B. Okay.
Okay.
So again, so you said, so did you have a question, or was it something you wanted to
No,
say?
it is just a real life story about my fight with my sisters. Like I am also going in favor of Johnny.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're on
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello,
So
how are you all?
good. So what we're gonna do, I don't want to lose control of the situation. Okay. let us finish. What we'll do is we'll finish the debate. Then after the debate's finished, in a couple minutes, we'll open it up for a general discussion where people can add more information. And Fida or Amin, after we finish the debate, you are more than welcome to share with us your ideas as well. Okay?
Okay. Richard, I have to go to attend a prayer.
Okay, sure.
Evening prayer. Okay. So just leave a message to me. I will come back and.
Okay. Sure.
I have sent you friend request also.
Okay.
Please accept.
Okay.
Excuse me. I should go for iftar. I mean.
Okay.
And I will come back.
Okay.
Excuse me for 50 minutes.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. All right. So, Mary, you had a question for Team B. What was your question?
Yes, my question is for Johnny.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Johnny, just now you said having siblings can only make problems, and you argue to each other and never help each other. Probably it is the truth in your family, but it doesn't mean it's for all other families who have siblings, right? And I also think for you, you had the chance to learn how to argue with people, with your siblings, right? Even she tried to give you a hard time, and it also gave you the chance to learn how to protect yourself. In this way, it's also helpful for you, right? And so that you can
So what's your question, Mary?
learn skills to.
Yeah, what's the question, Mary?
So what's the problem? And the society is also complicated, and your family is not as complicated as a society. So what is the problem? So why do you think having siblings won't be helpful for you when you grow up, when you were a child?
I'm
Not
not
that
sure
it
if
won't
I
be healthy, just
understand
you know,
the
Well,
question.
it's
Is the
yeah,
question
me
for
neither, me
Jamie
neither.
or for Johnny, Mary?
Yeah,
Johnny?
me, I think.
no, Johnny.
I
No, she
said,
said Johnny.
I
Johnny.
said my pronunciation has problems, right?
Okay. So why don't we?
Yes.
Why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? It might be easier. Okay. So I think it's because you went for a long time before you got to your point, so they kind of lost it.
Yeah.
Can you find a more concise way of asking your question, Mary? And I think you had it for Johnny, right? Okay.
Yes, I have a question for Johnny. My
Okay.
question is that, don't you think having siblings giving you chance to learn how to protect yourself and yeah, okay, that's a question. And it's
Okay.
also helpful for you to um, get used to the society, to the more complicated society. What do you think about it?
Did you understand, Johnny, what she's asking?
Johnny, yes.
Mm, I'm not sure.
Johnny?
Not sure if I understand.
I
No?
understand. Okay, I understand what she's saying. Yeah,
Okay.
okay, I understand what she's saying. What she's saying is by having by having siblings, even though it may not always be a positive environment, doesn't it do a lot of good in preparing you for actual society? Since in society, you will also face some of these types of challenges.
Yes.
That's what
Uh,
she's asking.
okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I try to address that specific point. I said it's not the blood that gives you that kind of help. It's not because she or he is your brother or sister. It is because of the kind of person that person is. Because there are siblings, brothers and sisters who can be a real jerk, right? And they will not help you no matter how much you need it, no matter how much you pay, no matter how much they see that you need help, and no matter how much good you have been to them, or how much the parents try to make them get along. It's not because he or she is your brother, he's your sister, she's gonna help you. It will depend on the kind of relationship you have with that person. If you are good siblings, you're good to your sister, you're good to the brother, he's gonna help you, she's gonna help you. So it's not about because she is your sister, she is or he is your brother, he has the moral obligation to help you. Because like I said before in my examples, that's not ever the case in my country. People here, when they are brothers and sisters, they don't help each other because they are sisters. They help each other, and they do sometimes, because they are just good people. They just want to help the other. um, and I think the topic is not about whether
Okay.
it is helpful or not. I think it's about being healthier psychologically.
Okay. Okay. So I know even though the question was to you, Johnny, if Jamie, did you want to add something to what Johnny said? Because I know you were huh?
Yes. Let's see. I, you know, let's see. Well, I think luckily since I'm an only child, I never had gotten into any fights. But as I said, being an only is I mean, shouldn't say healthier, because no, there's no no psychological damage. But I sort of feel bad for you, Johnny. That you got in so many fights with your sisters. I'm just.
It's normal. It's just normal. It's not
Okay,
something to feel bad about.
I just want to. Yeah, but don't. Oh, it's getting killed isn't fun. Anyway, how did you manage? How did you manage, by the way?
Well, let's not. Hey, listen.
Okay.
This is not a therapy session, okay?
Okay. Sorry.
Let's just focus on what we need to do so we can allow people to speak. Okay, so But I guess the reason. Okay, so okay, let's go now to Team B. Team B, did you have any questions for Team A?
Yes, I
Okay.
found a website which says and the study which prove the only child becomes selfish. There's no proof for that. There's no study to prove for that.
Right, it's only stereotypes.
So I want to ask Team A, do you have any study for proving only child has become selfish or lack of communication kind of thing?
So Team A, do you have any data, any kind of data to support your argument?
I do not have any data, but I can give you examples. You know, my brother has 2 children right now, and of course, before the second one was born, he had one, right? His son, and his son was cute, and he was really happy. But when my niece was born, he couldn't accept it because the family paid some attention to his sister, and he thought he was not important in the family. Of course, that's not the truth, and of course, that's the what can I find? Because of his selfishness, right? I mean, and you know, when his sister was only old.
Okay. Go
I'm
ahead.
losing you.
And I try to make sure whether my that they share the same family, same father, same mother, and the same grandparents, right? So I try to tell him, oh, and he is your grandfather, your grandmother, mother, right? But he said no. And they're mine. They're not hers. Of course, that's the way of selfishness, right? And but up, after some time, he knows. Now he thinks he is happy, and he even loves his sister a lot, and he doesn't want us to do anything to hurt his sister, and he is happy, and he always thinks his sister is beautiful. Okay, that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, so let's go ahead. Here's what we're gonna do. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and go to the voting because I want to allow Potus has joined us, and like I said, Amin's here and Fida's here, so I want to give everybody an opportunity to speak some more. So, Fida, I see your message. Basically, and just because they joined us, well, I'll explain the topic after I give my vote. So, here we go. First of all, both teams did a good job. Okay, Team A did a good job. Team B did a good job. Okay, I'm going to do an overview of what I heard from the teams. Okay, what I heard Mary say on Team A is that she has, multiple siblings, and her point was that, when you are an only child, sometimes you will not learn certain life skills that are necessary for emotional health, okay, such as sharing, learning to share, communication, getting what you expect to get, okay? All right.
Not necessarily.
Hey,
sorry.
Listen, I'm summarizing what Mary said, please.
Sorry.
Okay, let me finish what I'm doing, please. Okay, also the point that in some cases parents need to work, so siblings give you somebody to interact with, companionship, if your parents are working, okay? Jamie, you talked about, on Team B, you talked about, in your case, you had a lot of friends, childhood friends. You also had other things like books that were interest, and that, you know, so you're able to develop some of those skills
Yes.
through your friends. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Going back to Team A, Muhammad talked about he's got sisters, but he doesn't have any brothers. But he believes that having brothers provide some kind of support mechanism. Okay, get some companionship, somebody to seek advice from. Okay, Bijan talked about something that was kind of not related. He talked about statistics and overpopulation. but he did talk about the idea that when you have one child, which kind of leads to the parents are able to provide the resources for that child. Okay, I think that's kind of where he was going with that. He was kind of went off on a tangent there. Christina brought up some really interesting points, including some statistics. Christina talked about the fact that you don't have the companionship, again, sharing, which goes back to developing communication skills, which is part of your emotional health. Okay, she's learning to share things, and that siblings also, it's from a practical standpoint, that as your parents get older, allows you to care for them. That's not related to your emotional health, but that is something to consider. And she brought up 82% from a study done at the university of students said that they would want to be in a family with 2 children, minimum of 2 children. So she did provide some data from a university study. Okay, Hiroki talked about, let's see, it's in order to be healthy, it's not necessary to have siblings, that we can, in some cases, even if there's a negative aspect to it, that we can get a maybe inferiority complex, that they may do things, they may be treated better, okay? And that, again, if we have friends, they can take on the role of siblings as well. And Johnny talked about basically some experiences he's had, and the idea there that having siblings doesn't really help you at all with...
Sounds like he had a violent childhood.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I listened to everybody. I wrote some notes here. This is tough. I'm going to go to my decision is based upon. Can you mute your mic, please, Jamie?
Sure. Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you. My decision is based upon one key word: emotional. Okay. Because think about the topic again. Having siblings is healthier for a child, and if you look in the brackets, we're talking about emotional well-being, okay? Then growing up as an only child. So let's think about real quickly what gives us, what makes us an emotionally healthy person. I would offer up that obviously giving and receiving love is important. I would say that learning to trust, okay, learning to share, okay, are things that help you to be an emotionally balanced person, okay, emotionally healthy person. Okay, having the ability to, if you have things that you need to get out of you, somebody that you trust, again, that you can, confide in or share things with, okay. These are the stability, okay, knowing that if you have a problem, somebody's going to be there for you, okay, somebody's going to have your back. These are the things that, from my perspective, create a emotionally well-balanced childhood, okay, that later on help you become an emotionally balanced adult, okay. So with that said, I'm going to go with Team A. Let me tell you why I went with Team A. Not that I agree that every how do I say it? Not that I agree that every situation with somebody being an only child is necessarily any less healthy than a situation than having siblings, okay? Because I don't. There are children that are only children that grow up to be extremely healthy. Okay. So when I look at this, I'm thinking in terms again that we're talking about emotional health. We're talking about, again, what are the factors that we develop in emotion that affect our trust, respect, sharing, communication, love, guidance, okay? Advice, okay? What does siblings offer? I'm not saying in every case. We all know that every situation is different, okay? Okay, even when you have siblings you don't get along with, what does that teach us that helps us from an emotional balance standpoint? Adversity, how do we face challenges? Okay? How do we deal with situations where we don't get along with somebody? Okay, that is part of developing our emotional health. Okay, we can't look at that necessarily as being a negative thing all the time, because that experience can teach us how to interact in the larger society. Okay, so again, my point here is not that when I look at what everybody said, a lot of Team A focused on the points that directly relate to emotional health, sharing, communication. Okay, the other things, that having somebody to talk to. Okay, preparation for the larger society, even if we're having adversity, and that's kind of what Mary was saying earlier, Johnny. I think that's what she was trying to ask you in that. So I think Team A did a better job of addressing that part of it, because again, what is the topic? It's about emotional well-being. Okay. Now, does that mean that somebody's only child is not emotionally healthy? No, that doesn't mean that. Okay. There are many, right? And they have friends, right? I'm going to go to data for a second. Okay. I would say roughly, Mary, in your country, roughly for people between the ages of, say, 10 years old and 20 years old or 25 years old, roughly 80%, 90% do not have siblings. Okay, roughly.
Yes.
And this is based upon my own experience in being there. And I actually went to the government agency for policies for, things in Beijing, okay? Because I was curious about some things, okay? So my point is this, that if you look at, and there are many studies that have been done on this that talk about the negative impact, okay, to society when you have so many children, basically almost a whole society of children without siblings. Now, what do? They have their cousins are basically their brothers or sisters. Their friends are called their brothers or sisters. So this goes back to Johnny, something you were saying about blood. Right? That you don't necessarily need to share blood to feel like somebody's your brother or sister. Okay? That some things are not tied to blood, and I agree with that 100%. But again, but I think but I think in general, and there are studies out there. If people are interested, you can do the research and you find the studies that show this. Okay, the data. Going back to what Hiroki had asked. Okay, again, it's not, of course, it's not everyone. It's generalizing because everyone's different. But I think the Team A did focus on, in most cases, those attributes that do relate to emotional well-being. Team B kind of, to be honest with you guys, Team B made it a lot about your individual selves, okay? Team A, I thought, focused more on the specific areas that contribute to emotional health, okay? Yeah, they talked about. Okay, so that's my feedback.
Thank you.
Well, no, I think it's good. And again, I think that you can't make a judgment and say that in every case. Of course, it's not true. You can have siblings. It could be the worst thing in your life. You can be an only child and be the best thing in your life. And the opposite's true too. So you can't really judge it based upon an individual. That's why I didn't really judge based upon the topic. I based upon what I heard from the people. And Team A was pretty good about the theme of talking about those attributes that relate to emotional well-being. Bijan talked about statistics and overpopulation. Okay.
Definitely.
So,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
You
Bijan,
should
you didn't help
excuse me. I want to interrupt your speech, But I think in this situation, I mean, in a strategic situation of the all the world, I think if we sacrifice something selfish about having two or many, because it's really difficult for parents to have just only one child. I emphasize that, but in this situation, in this reality, we engage with too much problems about thirsty, about some problems around the world. Every one of all of you, you know what I want to say. I think it's, in my opinion, it's a sacrifice my desires to have a better society in near future.
Yeah.
That's not the point of
Yeah,
this.
but the problem, Bijan, that wasn't the topic. That's the
that's not
the topic. The topic is talking specifically. Think about the topic. Okay, having siblings is healthier for a child. We're talking about predominantly emotion. We're not talking about necessarily society. We're not talking about overpopulation and the impacts on society or family planning issues or these kind of things. I think on a larger scale, I understand what you're saying. But again, we're thinking right now in terms of the emotional health as the primary criteria. And again, what are the things? Think about your idea of an emotionally stable adult. Okay, most people would say somebody that, and again, maybe not everybody, most people say somebody that can love freely, somebody that can trust, somebody that has learned how to respect something, somebody has learned how to share something. Okay, these are the attributes, or these are characteristics of what somebody would consider in most cases to be an emotionally balanced person. Okay, as an adult. So go back to childhood, where we learn a lot of the things that make us who we are, right? It's the environment, right? We talked about yesterday. Environment includes your parents. Environment includes siblings, if you have any. It includes your friends. Includes if you're in school, other relatives, uncles, aunts, etc. Okay, so it's your environment. Siblings are part of your environment. So they are a critical part of developing, or you developing, your emotional health, one way or the other. It's not the only factor, of course not. Okay, but it's one of the. It is, one of the major factors. And I think Team A did talk about that part. That's why I said that I thought they did a better job, because they focus on that part. Okay, because I think a lot of people gave personal experiences. Mary gave a personal experience. You, Johnny, gave a personal experience. Jamie, you gave a personal experience. Christina gave a personal. A lot of people cited personal experiences. Okay, but the key here was relating it to the emotional health. Okay, and conflict. Most of us don't like conflict. We hate conflict, but conflict can also be something that turns into something positive if it helps you learn how to prepare for it in the future, right?
That's what I asked.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I mean, conflict is not always, it's like, well, I mean, the bottom line is, in our society, we're not going to get along with people. There are people we're not going to get along with, right? That's right. We all probably would agree with that. We're not going to get along with everybody in our life. So when you're a child and you don't get along with your siblings, whatever it is, you get, in my case, I had one brother, one sister. Okay, we fought a lot. Oh my gosh. Okay,
every day.
I would chase them around the house. Okay, I would get in trouble. Okay,
do they make your life
a lot? Okay, I would get in trouble. Okay, but
can I tell my experience, Rick?
Yeah, go ahead. I know you wanted to share your experience with us.
Yeah, because you mentioned about the experiences of your members, but I want to say that in my case, I was the only son. Okay, I mean, the boy in my family, the only boy, and plus two sisters. But every time we will talk and we will fight with each other. I mean, my sisters, I mean, they bond, make a bond because my mother, for example, tell that I love my son Bijan more than you, but I told them, and sometimes I told my mother, this is not good to tell this thing with, I mean, in family, because my sister will experience envy, you know. I mean, and because of this condition, I in many cases I feel a loneliness, you know. But I mean, it depends. It's not sure. I'm not sure that in every case of having two or many siblings will guarantee the healthier conditions. Because I think for example, if there is a combination of, for example, 2 or 3 or 4 sisters together, it's maybe better than the condition that there is only one son or 2 sisters, or I mean a combination with, you know, I mean the combination of the members of family. It depends the combination and the situation. I'm not sure about in any case the guarantee.
Well, again, we can't really necessarily stereotype and say that in all cases, it's good or bad either way, or the number of siblings. I mean, there's a lot of different variables when we think about this topic, right? Our societies are different. Maybe, being the only son in your society is different than being, I mean, here, because of the relationship between brothers and sisters, in most cases, and I'm talking about our country, United States, in most cases, it's not that much different.
It's an ideal combination.
Well,
okay,
well, hey on one second. Hey, Johnny, I'm gonna be right back. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. We also have Soso joined us in our means here. I'll be right back. And Paras.
Okay, Bijan, I have a question for you. I think yesterday you said you have kids, right? How do you relegate? How to make sure your kids don't rip each other's heads off? I mean, do you have more than one kid, or and how many kids do you have? And how do you make sure that if you have more than one kid, that they don't rip each other's heads apart? That they don't fight that much. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, sorry.
No,
I couldn't understand your question.
Okay, you said that you have kids. If you have more than one kid, how do you make sure that each kid doesn't rip each other's head off? That they're trying to get along together, or do you give the others the same love, or what's your secret?
Oh, you mean if I have two kids, huh?
Yeah.
How I mean present my love to them?
Yeah.
Oh, really, if I have 2 or more kids, I will tell them that I love all of you in the same way. And what I'm not sure. In action, in action, some parents, for example, in my country, according to the background of some, especially in south of Iran, too many families believe that the best children of a family are the boys, not girls. I mean, it's a traditional stereotype.
Yeah.
And I think it's not true. It's really a completely wrong idea, but it's I mean still this idea exists among some families, and they will feel happiness when they got a boy. But I think it's not true, and it's completely wrong idea.
Okay.
All right, let's see if Amin or Paras want to speak about this. Amin?
Hello, everyone. Yeah. Actually, from my perspective, I think usually the society is composed from, let's say, thousands or millions of families. So let's say having healthy bond or healthy relationship in the family will lead to a good society, and we will end up to let's say to emotionally healthy people, let's say. I think having siblings will help children to be healthy emotionally, because all of us know there is no one perfect in this life. So having brother and sisters, especially when you're young, that maybe will help you to learn some, let's say, morals or wisdom or any kind of lessons of life from them. So I think from my perspective, having brothers and sisters will help people to be more healthier emotionally. That's what I think.
All right.
Cool.
And what if they don't?
For example, almost all of you brought some personal experience. From my side, I think, for example, in my city, we have both kind of families. Let's say some families have a kind of war into the family itself, and the others, let's say, they have, let's say, unbreakable brother relationship. We have, as I said, we have the two types of families in my city. And to be honest, I don't know. We have, I know some people, they have about 10 brothers and sisters. So they are big families, and here in Tunisia, let's say we still have, especially in the especially far from the cities, there are families that sometimes contains 10 or 12 or even 14 children in only one family. So in these big families, usually the relationship between brothers and sisters are very strong, and I think that help them to be emotionally healthy more than families in the big cities. Usually they are not many brothers and sisters, and sometimes they are only single one children in the family. As I said, from my perspective, it's more healthier to have a lot of brothers and sisters. In case, let's say, they are not fighting, they are helping each other.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind
That's
me
it.
asking, I would like to ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
You said that
Mhm.
in your city you see the two sides of the coin, right? You see family with siblings who fight with each other, and you see family with siblings who don't fight with each other. They protect each other. Um,
Yep. Yeah.
what do you think is the cause of such a difference?
Parents. Parents are let's say, the real cause behind that,
What does that
because
mean?
uh, okay, if parents, let's say,
Do a better job?
bring up the yes,
And better support.
maybe let's say, they bring up their children in a good environment where they teach them from, let's say, from the beginning, how they respect each other. Usually here, let's say, the young have to respect the older one, and all children have to respect parents. So that's the healthy way in my society to be a good and healthy family. So if things work like that, so everything will be okay. Let's say in most of cases. Usually there are some exceptions, but if parents, let's say, don't care about how they grow up their children, or how they teach them life or morals or the good value, if they don't care about this side from the beginning, in most cases, family will not be emotionally healthy, or a healthy family, let's say.
All right. So
Yeah.
if one last thing before I move to Paris, um, let me know
Mhm.
if my rephrasing of what you just said is correct. You would say then that having
Mhm.
siblings, it will be healthier emotionally, but only if parents do a good job at parenting. Otherwise, having family will, I mean, having siblings will not actually help you be healthier mentally. Is that correct?
Yep, 100%.
All right. Thank you. And welcome back, Soso.
Yeah.
Welcome back,
You're
Rick.
most welcome.
Oh, he's not back.
Thank
Oh, you are.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. I'm listening to you guys. Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right. I'm not
So
sure
I
if
think we
Para wants
are
to speak.
winner.
Paras, or
520, Paris.
No, it's joking.
okay.
Actually,
So,
we want to conclude a good idea. I think I agree with Johnny. I mean, it's a very good point that if the parents have good activity, and they really want to have a good communication with all the children family, it's I mean, a safe and healthy condition to guarantee a healthy family. But in other hand, it if it will not happen, I mean, the family will fail.
Okay, I think there were still one or two more people that you needed to go through, right? So I don't think some maybe Potters can't speak, but can Soso speak? Soso?
She just
Hello.
Hey, Soso.
Hi, Richard. Hello, everyone.
How's it going?
So.
Hi, thank you. Hi, Jamie. Great to see you.
Thank you too.
Did you want to
Hello.
offer your idea on this?
Yeah, it's a very nice topic. Having siblings is healthier emotionally and otherwise for a child. I think that we, for example, as brothers and sisters, I personally, I have 4 brothers and I am the only sister. I don't have a sister. So I can relate between the both, being only a girl between the 4 boys and having siblings, guys. And I think we, as we grow up, we don't think that I have to have a brother or have to have a sister unless people address it to you. For example, I've never felt that I need a sister unless someone else, when I meet outside, oh, you don't have a sister, oh, poor you. Oh, how do you feel when do you wish to have a sister? And I said, no, I have brothers, I have friends, I have cousins, I have friends outside. So no one, I didn't feel that that gap unless someone said that to me. So first point is society gives you pressure that to have a sister and brothers. And a second thing is emotionally, and parents think that if they give a birth to not only one, for the second and the third, they think that it will be a great environment for us to be stable emotionally and stable, be more challenging to have, even if they, God forbidden, if they died, they have at least support. We have support as brother and sister. We protect each other. We do our best to still alive in this life. But we didn't think, as for example, for me as a daughter, I never thought of that. But as growing up, when my brothers, we are growing up, they are men now, and I am a woman. So I feel that if I have a sister, maybe I can talk with, but because we do have a different conversation. They talk about sport, they talk about man thing, and always I'm aside. And they try to make me integrate with them, but I don't care about that subject. I don't care about. I say, did you see that? I don't care. Don't talk to me with the sport. I hate sport. Don't talk to me about sport. But they still nagging, and they still want. They don't think me as a woman. They don't think me as a member of a family, which is bad. I don't like to hear some things, but don't indulge me with certain things. But I do think that if anyone live with only one child, live as only one child, I think they live their lives, and other people who live with the multiple siblings, it doesn't mean that you have to be healthy or not. It's just you cope with the circumstances. If you are only child, you will take care of yourself. If you are with the siblings, you have your own life too. But which one is healthy or not, no one can say it is healthy or not, because it's just relative. If you think that because you know that always the grass is greener on the other side. If I have siblings, I would think that if I am the only child, it would be perfect. And if others who have the opposite is vice versa. And the second thing is thing that people do not talk about is the disadvantage of having siblings. When parents, for example, die and they leave heritage, the siblings, because they have common interests, they won't be a sister and brothers. They will always fight. They will be like enemy. So do you think that, and they start thinking we were happy and we were happy and we were brothers and sisters. What happened? Because common interests come along. So I think that you just relive our life. Wherever you are only a child or multiple. You live your life with the circumstances that you have. Thank you.
Okay. So that's very interesting, So I guess you have I guess you have a lot of you have a lot of guardians, huh? With 4 brothers, you have a lot of guardians, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yes.
Well, you know,
Sweetie sister.
Yeah,
Among
I
the
guess
brothers.
one thing I wanted to touch on, listening to you guys at the end there, I think you guys brought up some really interesting points about the role that parents play in this. And you know, something that my observation, and again, we all have our own life experiences, okay, and they're all different, okay. But you know, if I think again about, think about what your idea of a emotionally balanced, healthy member of society is as an adult, not as a child, as an adult, okay. So I think most of us, and if I'm saying something wrong, please tell me, and most of us would agree that it's somebody that is able to have meaningful relationships with people, where trust is important, honesty is important, having the ability to communicate with others, being able to share, be generous, show compassion, right? All of these qualities that we think about, I would believe that most of us would consider those qualities to be part of what we would say is an emotionally balanced adult. Where do you get that from? Well, a lot of it you get from being a child, right? So, and again, what is a child's environment? Okay, it's the values the parent teach them, him, or if it's more than one child, them, right? It's the interaction they have with their siblings, if they have any. It's the interaction they may have with friends outside of the family. Okay, so there's a lot of factors again that are in that child's environment. I think the point is, and I agree, that again, it depends upon the person. It depends upon the environment that child was raised in, or those children were raised in. But if we think about, again, in general, the skills, the life skills that you develop as a child that help you when you become an adult, often, not all the time, but often with siblings, you will, you're not gonna have any choice. Okay, your parents are gonna say, okay, I'm gonna give you some cookies, you guys share them. Okay, right? Yeah. So you learn to share. Okay, your parents might say, one child calls the other child a name. Okay, the parent steps in and says, hey, don't call your brother or sister that name. Okay. One parent, your parent might say that they prefer one child, okay, which is not good. That's not healthy, okay. But okay, but what that teaches you to do as a child is to deal with adversity, to learn how to cope with these things, right?
Yeah.
So the whole point, I think, is that as a child, we grow up with certain things in our environment. And some things are positive, some things are negative, but even from the negative things, we can learn from that. Okay. Yeah. I think that's the key thing here. You can look out, and something that I thought Mary said, I think Mary said it, or other people said it on Team A, that sometimes you don't want to confide in your parents, right? You have something that you don't want to tell, but if you have a sibling, you're going to tell your sibling, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe. And of course, again, you can tell your friends as well. It doesn't mean that friends aren't part of your environment, because they are, especially if you're spending so much time in school and everything else, right? But I think that, again, think about this way. What does it mean to be an emotionally balanced person as an adult in society? And then what does it take as a child to achieve that? Okay. And if a child has a rough childhood, Okay, things didn't go right. Maybe they come up, they come up in a broken family. Okay, maybe there was some hardships. Yeah, and sometimes this can have a negative impact, but we can also learn from it and make ourselves better. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, and if I can like jump in real quick, Rick, I don't have any brothers and sisters, but I do have a lot of cousins, and all my cousins are like very close. So and since we grew up together, we have a lot of shared experiences. So I can confide in them, and sure, and they're almost like my siblings. So I didn't miss out. I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's also good to have cousins too.
Yeah, I mean, blood relations are obviously not the only relations in our life. Obviously not. Okay, and we often in our life have friends that we are very, very close to.
Yeah.
So it's not saying that it's not really about the number of children. It's more about learning and being taught values that are important. And the thing that having siblings does do for you, though, it does give you some opportunities to develop some of those skills, okay, or to learn from those things, okay. So anyway, all right. Well,
even I support the topic today, but as you know, I only have one child, right?
Yeah.
And if I can choose, I will always have one. I do not want to have more than one. It's too much to work.
Well, you have to look at it. No, I understand what you're saying, and to be honest with you, this is kind of going back to, what's really fascinating. Amin was talking about how in Tunisia, maybe in the villages or outside the city, some people might have 13, 14 children. To be honest with you, I could never imagine.
Sounds like Ireland.
But it's understandable in some cultures, that is, or it used to be the norm. I think a lot of that's changing. Even in some cultures that it used to be normal, I think even that's changing quite a bit.
Yeah, like China.
And the reason. Yeah. Well, no. The point was because in China actually it was large families, then it became one child only. Now they're relaxing it so they can have a second child, but it's still it's just control. Now that's something we could talk about on a different day. That might be a good topic on a different day. Is should there be a limit? Should someone say? Should the government tell you can't? Now I think most people are going to say no. That's not the government business to tell you how many children. It's your choice. But we have to think about the reasons why people make those choices, and economics is a big reason why people make those choices, because it does cost a lot of money to raise a child. For those people here that have children, that. You know how much money you spend on school uniforms, on food, on toys, on trips, okay? Later on when they get older, on their education. It takes a lot of money to raise a child, okay?
Not only money and also time to take care of them. Some parents only give born, but they do not really raise them well. They even do not take care of them, so they and their children walk around. They even do not like their families, right?
Well, and this kind of goes back. Well, let's just think about what you just said, Mary. This goes back to what we were talking about a little bit ago. That a lot of what how do I say it? A major factor in a child being emotionally healthy has to do with the way that they are raised by their parents. If their parents make that time to show the child that they are loved, they make the time to show that they, teach them responsibility, right? Teach them, discipline is important, okay?
What if they don't?
If they take the time,
what if they don't?
If they don't, then you have problems.
If they don't, then
so their children and the society will have problems if parents do not do that.
I don't think
if you look
so.
at the data,
maybe
I don't think
that
so.
not because of the style of how many members of the family, but because of how because of what kind of relationship parents gave, or their kids friends give, yeah, I'm thinking about that while I was talking, listening
Yeah,
about you talking,
and also Hiroki, the way families are exist in the Orient or in the East is a lot different than families in the West. I mean, families in China and Japan seem to be like very close, and they all live in the same house.
Japanese family is not so close like
Okay.
you think. No,
All right. Okay.
In general, it's up to the family, but not so. More Japanese becoming more individualistic than ever.
Yeah.
Come in.
No need to say sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I'm trying to understand, Johnny. You said something that you said. Okay, so let's go back to something real briefly. That we can make an argument, and we can look at data, and we can make there's a logical approach to saying that for children that grow up in a family environment where there is not stability, where the parents are not, how do I say it? Putting time into creating that healthy, nurturing environment for children, we can make an argument that in a lot of cases, not in all cases, in a lot of cases, those children will often have problems of their own when they get older. And I think they may turn to substance abuse. There might be other issues there. And I think there's a lot of data to look at that. But of course, that's not everyone, because at the end of the day, there are many. I told you guys, I grew up in a broken home. Okay, my parents were divorced when I was young. Okay, right. So I know all about that. Okay, from my own personal experience. Okay, I had a stepfather that died from drinking too much. Okay, I was a single parent myself. Okay, so I know that it doesn't take, again, two parents always being there to raise a healthy child. What it does take though, it takes a lot of nurturing. It takes teaching, I believe, teaching that child the values that are important. Because again, what is that child? That child is one day going to be an adult, right? So if you don't teach the child those values, they're not. Where are they going to learn them from? They might learn other values from other situations, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point.
Does that make sense at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just right. You're sticking to it.
Yeah. So we also, Fida, are you here now?
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Oh my gosh, you're going in and out, in and out.
It's like a yo-yo. It's like a yo-yo.
Sorry.
Boing, boing,
No, I'm
boing, boing.
sorry because my charge is finished.
Yeah, no, I understand. Oh, by the way, So Fida is also from your country. So.
Welcome here. Yeah.
So you're from the capital, Algiers, right? So.
Oh.
So.
Hi, Fida.
From Algeria. Hi. Hi.
Washarak, Fida. Washarak.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
I'm trying to connect the two Algerians, Jamie. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Sorry. But I was speaking in Algerian Arabic. I said, how's it going?
You are from Algeria too?
No, I'm from the United States. I'm American, but I have a lot of friends.
I'm from Algeria.
No, you're not from Algeria.
From Algeria. I didn't understand.
No.
Who is from Algeria?
Amin is from Tunisia. So is from Algeria.
Tunisia. Okay. So we are neighbors, not from the same country.
Nice to meet you. Yep.
Nice to meet you.
Rick, I want to say something.
Sure.
For me, it's very valuable thing that when I'm in DNM groups, we talk together. I feel that it's a very friendly family for me. You are no one of you is bloody
Blood
from
relatives. We're not blood
bloody
relatives.
sister or brother, but I really
No,
feel that you are my
Bijan.
brother and
No,
you
we're
are
not.
my sisters.
No, it's
You
not
know?
bloody. It's not bloody. It's blood relative. Bloody is different. Bloody means violent. So we're not blood related. But yeah, you're right.
No, and Bijan, to be honest with you, that's one of the reasons why I can honestly say that again, I believe others also have a similar feeling that people can establish relationships. It doesn't mean that you have to be blood related. You can have people that are close to you in your life. So yeah, I would agree with you. And that's why if you think right now, who do we have? So we have Indonesia, we have the USA, we have Japan, we have Tunisia, we have Algeria, we have Iran, we have China, we have Argentina, right?
Yes. A global family.
A global family, yeah.
Yes.
And I have to say for myself, I've been here like almost 2 years, Rook. And I have become very close to you guys. You're almost like my brothers and sisters, like my own family. And I enjoy them. I enjoy the fact when Rick goes away that I can take care of you guys because I'm a native speaker and I want to make sure that you guys are all healthy and happy. So thanks.
Okay, so Jamie, as a brother, I want you to send me some money, okay?
Okay. Have a Christmas, Rick. Have a Christmas.
Come on. Come on,
hey,
brother.
My birthday's coming up in September. Yeah, you can send me some money.
Jamie, you are my dear brother.
And the more you give, the more like a brother you are, okay?
Yeah.
That was funny, huh? No.
Yeah.
So anyway, Fida, did you want to tell us what you think about the topic?
So I want to tell you something, Richard. Yes, I don't know. So when we were talking about the topic of today, I didn't get you well. I don't know if it's normal or no.
Okay, so the topic today was that we're talking about what is a healthier environment for a child, to be an only child, by themselves, or to be a child with brothers or sisters.
Okay, but I speak in general. I don't know if I have the habit to listen from to speak with others because I'm new in that group. Or I said that I didn't when you speak and all of them I didn't get you very well.
Yeah, well, what I'm trying to say,
I don't know
if
it's normal.
Yeah, can you explain to can you explain to her in maybe in Arabic a little bit?
Yeah, I'm going to explain to you, Richard, her question. What she meant is, this is her first time having conversation with people who speaks English, and she was wondering if she's kind of don't understand the vocabulary that you're using. So she's saying if it's normal for her because she's a beginner.
I mean that.
Yeah, and that's
Well,
so
thank you so much.
see that's okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes, I mean that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fida,
you know that the more you join here, the more you learn. And don't just don't think that you will learn by month. You just come here and you will learn.
Yeah, but sometimes when I don't understand, I feel some stress. I don't feel good. I feel bored some.
No, just pick some words that. Just pick some words that you don't understand, and just go on Google Translation, and you will understand better.
No. So.
Yes,
I have come from an experience that That's so. Sometimes Google Translator isn't good. Frida, I
Yes.
can. Speaking as a native speaker, I can tell you that if you come here and listen now long enough, then you'll catch on eventually. It's quite normal for someone who's new to get totally lost in here. But if you listen to us
Okay.
and talk to us,
Yes.
then you'll be fine.
Okay.
Sorry, Rick. Sorry.
I have another alternative. Okay. Vida?
I have an alternative too after you, okay, Rick?
Yes. So I think my alternative is your alternative. Okay. So my alternative, Vida, go to Tunisia, go to Sfax.
Oh my God.
Go meet with Amin.
Yeah.
And Olfa and Samira. And
Yeah, there you
people,
go.
Okay, Yosra. Okay. All right.
Okay. So, right, I go to Tunisia every summer.
You can go. I'm sure Amin and those guys can help you out. Okay.
Okay.
I remember the first time I joined the online class, which means 10 years ago. I couldn't talk. I was very nervous.
Oh
So
yeah, I remember that.
yeah, keep coming. Yeah, you can reduce your tense or maybe I think
Okay. So
Yeah.
so
that's
So,
my recommendation.
so Amin, what were you gonna say, Amin?
No, just an advice to FIDA. If you feel that people don't understand what you are saying, just think the same way as me. I always think, okay, people, they are not good enough at English, that's why they don't understand me.
No, we
That's
understand
it.
you.
Listen.
Yeah.
So I understand you now very well but some pronunciation I can't get them well.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, think that your pronunciation is good
Because
and
we
their
are
pronunciation is not.
because I know that we are from different countries, and so some of them I can get you very well, but others I find sorry I find difficult to understand them.
Yeah. Let me tell you a story. As a beginning, you are, let's say, in a better position than I was. In the first session I joined here, I remember that Rick said a lot of times, I mean, in English. I mean, he tries to explain for us in a different way. So each time he said, I mean, I thought that he was calling my name. So be sure that you start with a good position right now. So your position right now is good because you understand us from the first session, and that's it's a good beginning.
That's a start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I actually it's one advantage of online class because we can be familiar with a variety of English in the world because it's great practice because many people nowadays communicate with in English, so on the internet
Yes,
and
of
other
course.
situations.
Yes.
Yeah.
For that reason, so we want to learn English because it's important to know this language. Even so, we make it by travel. So it's necessary to speak English nowadays.
Yeah. Okay. And if I can jump in real quick, I'm an only child, but I can. I've known Hiroki for 7 years. I consider him like a brother, a very wise older brother who's keeps out of trouble sometimes. Anyway, we met on a website, education website, about 7 years ago. And the first time I heard him, he was like doing some sort of speech, and he sounded very petrified. And I thought, oh wow, that's so bad for that guy. Then a couple of days later, I heard him again, and he was on fire. But then he was telling a story from his own country. But he told me that he had practiced the night before, and now he's on fire. I mean, I think he's gotten from scared to like a bombshell, like a bonfire. Well done, Ricky. Well done. And I thought he should come here because I wanted him to meet all you guys, and I wanted him to see what I do sometimes. So, yeah.
Well, I think the thing about it, Fida, is that the point here is practice.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And also, I want to repeat what Hiroki said, which is, the nice thing about when you participate, like, for example, with us, you hear people from Asian countries that have an accent. You hear people from African countries that have an accent. You hear people from native English-speaking countries that have their own accents. Right?
Yep.
So it really helps you over time to learn how to understand somebody speaking the common language, but with different accents. So
your boss is here, Rick. Your boss is here. Hi, Jamila.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Richard. Yes.
So you now have, right now, see, Vida, we have so many people from your country. We have Soso, we have Jamila, okay? All Algerians.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. The Algerians are taking over.
Yes. Jamila and Sus, they are here with us now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jamila, you here, right?
Are you here, Jamila?
Yes.
I heard much from you, Jamila. I heard that your English is so perfect.
Oh, thank you. Who said that?
Welcome.
I told her that.
Jamila, your English becomes very popular.
Yeah.
She becomes popular.
Oh my gosh.
Then I said, Jamila.
Welcome, Jamila.
Thank
Jamila?
you. Yes.
And I said, oh my God, when I can speak with like Jamila.
When can I?
Very soon. I'm sure of that.
So I must practice and practice.
I'm sorry, but who's speaking?
This is Fida.
Fida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw your private message. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Jamila, excuse me. Would you like to tell your idea about the topic? eBay? Have you time? Enough time? Rick?
Maybe you have other people that haven't spoken yet. So.
No, we're done.
Oh, you're done. Okay. Let me check. What is the topic? Having siblings is healthier emotionally and otherwise for a child. Yes, definitely. Yes, it is. I mean, I have to say that because we are 4, so obviously I have to say that. I think it's very sad to grow up as the only child.
But you
really is.
I'm an only.
What did you say?
I said you wouldn't know.
I'm an only, and I'm happy.
Well, I think you would just miss out on a lot of things, that you can have when you have brothers, sisters. I mean, it's just different. And I think even your parents, when you are the only child, maybe they have too much attention on you, and that's not necessarily good. It's like investing on one child. That's not good. But if you have like 3, 4, 5, I don't know, that's good. It's like different kinds of investments. Like you invest 20% on that one, 20 on that one. So it's good, I think.
5?
When I is a business person.
Yes, it's like a business. Yes, it's like a team. Yeah, I always think about, for example, our family, because we are 6, my parents, and I have a brother and 2 sisters. So I always think of us as a team. And when you are an only child, there's not necessarily a team. Maybe you can have, it's a team with your parents, but it's different, I think.
So apparently the investment of your parents was successful.
I don't know yet.
So Rick, according to Jamila idea, I think that we should design a space battleship to transfer our families to another planet. Because
Well-
there is no place on the earth anymore.
Well, this is the challenge. This is the challenge that we have in this world, right? There are some parts of this world that are overpopulated, right?
I'm just
There are some
joking.
Well, no, seriously. I mean, there are some parts of the world where people have large families, and to be honest,
Especially China,
they can't
India.
they don't have the economic ability to raise them in a healthy way. So, you have to find, again, it's hard because, how can a government tell a family how many children they should have? They really can't, right? That should be a choice. But a family also needs to recognize the impact, the consequences, okay? So if you have the financial means, the economic means to raise a family, that's one thing. Some people don't, okay? And that's where we have problems. I think the fastest growing country in the world right now is Nigeria in sub-Saharan Africa. I think it's Nigeria. I want to say in terms, and India too, also.
Oh yeah. They've been doing that for years.
So there are challenges there, and there's only so many resources in the world. There's only so much water, so much food, right? So,
But even if
So
you
I
have
think,
all of the resources,
in my opinion, that
go ahead, John.
sorry.
Go ahead.
so even if you have all the money in the world,
in my opinion,
go ahead, Hiroki.
sorry. Yeah, the problem, even if such government interference succeeded, the big problem in the future, such rapid shrinking of population, cause the future pension problem, aging society. That's not a solution actually. I think it's a complicated issue. Also, so how can we solve the problem?
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead, Johnny. I think you're Susan. Go ahead.
Yeah, so even if you have all the money in the world, all of the research and all of the goodwill and the good knowledge of how to be a good parent, that doesn't guarantee you're gonna have a healthy family, or that your children are gonna be good to each other. I mean, having the money, having the research will not guarantee the family will be close to each other and lovely, supportive, and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I think. Well, no, there's no. I mean, there are no guarantees about anything, right? I mean, there are no guarantees about anything. All you can do is increase the odds, increase the probability. That's all you can do, because again, there's no guarantees about anything. You could grow up with the parents that give you everything you need, that are there for you every day, and still do things in your life that are not good, right? I mean, there's no magic recipe for those things, but I do think that having parents that teach you values, having or a parent, it's not to be parents, be a parent, or having somebody in your life that teaches you values and that helps you to learn these things can be a big difference. Can make a big difference in your life as an adult.
So who won the debate?
Team A.
Yeah. Yes. We have a lot of teams, huh?
Yeah, we only had four. We only had like 4 or 5 people on team A, but they're like.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Despite despite of my opinion about the debate topic, I should say that my wife born in a I mean, a large family, and my wife has 2 brothers and 4 sisters. And sometimes we talk about our childhood, and it's very interesting that my wife tells that she really spent a very good and happy times with I mean in childhood period, but right now she's not satisfied. I mean for childhood period, I think it's very good situation for children to have close relationship. But when they got I mean grow up, maybe this is difficult.
Yeah, so much of it just again probably depends upon. I mean, there's a lot of different factors. You can't just look at any single factor and say that it's the cause of a child. Some children grow up in a household where there's substance abuse, maybe where the parents use drugs. Some children grow up in a household where there's people that are always fighting, right? Arguing and fighting, and it just creates challenges. It doesn't mean that the child cannot grow up to be a healthy adult emotionally. It just means that there are some challenges there, right?
Yes, yeah.
See, I think, so Ahmed, as you said, your president was it Erdogan, right? Is saying that married couples to have at least 4 kids.
Whoa.
4 is nice. Sounds
4
good.
kids?
Yes.
Yes, I totally meant that, but I cannot talk. Background noise can disturb you.
Okay. So I think the if I recall correctly, if you look at the global population and the sustainment rate, in other words, to maintain the population at its current level, and I'd have to go and look at the data again, but I think that in order to sustain any given population, the typical family needs to have 2.5 kids. Okay, so 2.5 kids, even though I don't think you can have a half kid. Okay, but just based upon the data, in order to sustain a population, right? If you have under that, then the population goes down. If you have over that, then it grows too much. So I think they often talk about the perfect family size to sustain a population is 2.5 kids. I think I would have to find it again.
And the problem is, the populations are kind of rate density is up to the area. This area needs more population.
That
area.
Yep.
So that kind of no.
So I said what? And I said well. No.
Okay. So that's also the problem. How can
distribution. You're talking about the distribution.
Yeah, maybe distribution.
Yeah. When you think about and that's the problem we have is that there is not a equal distribution. You have, it's localized. You have some regions of the world where, there's overpopulation. There's impacts on, whether it be the basic services, housing, food, these things, right? Mm-hmm. Then you have other parts of the world but I think we have to be careful, because just because we have open land doesn't mean that we should send a bunch of people there. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because we have to also think about the environmental impact, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, well, I think we have to consider the idea that we should always leave some let's talk about Patagonia, okay, areas where there's large open land. Okay, does that mean just because there's open land that people should move there? Not necessarily, because some of these places, are should be treated as environmental areas where people shouldn't live, right?
Yeah.
You know, Alaska, right? For us, Jamie, Alaska. You know, there's a lot of land in Alaska. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that just, you know, I think we have to be really careful, and this, you know, because now we're talking about distribution between people and the environment, right? Or not.
California, where you live, Rick. I mean, there's a lot of earthquakes. Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is that, you know, the resources that we have in this world, you know, whether it be the resources in the ocean, the resources of agriculture, you know, the fishery resources, etc. We have to be really careful, because you can have the situation where people are having 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kids, right? And outstrip the resources, okay, and it just becomes dangerous, I think. You know?
Yeah, but you know what you don't understand is that people create resources. Okay. Yes, I mean, are you encouraging people to have only one child or just 2?
Yes, I think that they should have no more resources, or no more. They should have no more children than. Well, there's 2 factors I look at. One is obviously the financial ability of the parents to raise a child. Okay, they should not have more children than they can raise. Okay, in a healthy way. Okay, that's one. Okay, 2 is that we also need to look at the bigger picture. Okay, I think. Okay, that the bigger picture is, if you have, you know, if everybody in the world said they want to have 10 children, okay, in 2 or 3 generations. Where, you know, where's the food going to come from? Where's the water going to come from? Where's the healthy air going to come from? Okay, where's it? You know, where?
This is so pessimistic view.
It's realistic. It's realistic.
It's not. Well, there is a fine line between realistic and pessimistic.
Well, no, I'm not. No, I'm just saying that we have to look at things. You know, we need to be a sustainable planet. You know what sustainable means? You know, we should never overexploit things, right? If we overexploit, then that means in 3 generations, the people won't have those things. Okay?
No, but you have to just. Yeah, go ahead.
Just I want to explain that things don't work like that. For example, if we look back 30 years ago or 40 years ago, people at that time said China will suffer from starvation and things like that over time. But what happened right now is China, let's say, from the most wealthy countries in the world. So if we look at things, let's say, I understand what Rick just said, but let's say experience, or let's say what happened in the world prove that it's not, let's say, the right way to think like that. It's not the right way.
Well, I could tell you that in China, because of my time I spent there and the research I've done, if China didn't import food, people would be starving. They don't generate enough food in their country to feed their population. They don't. I can tell you 100%. If they didn't import food from other countries right now, they would not be able to feed their own people.
But in the end, what I am trying to explain, it's not about the number of population, but it's about the way how we exploit or how we deal with earth, and how we let's say, if we focus in agriculture, if let's say greedy corporation, let's say they don't control the world in a bad way. It's not about the number of population on the earth, because maybe the earth in some studies can feed, let's say, 3 or 4 times the population, the current population of the world. But the problem is about big corporations. It's about policies of countries and things like that. It's not about number in the end.
Okay, be careful. One day Dreams of Motion will be a big corporation. So be careful what you say now, okay?
Yeah, right?
No, I think, you bring up a valid point. I mean, that part of it, a large part is how the resources are managed, right? If they're not managed effectively, then that's that, and there have been studies that show that we on a global level produce more than enough food to feed all people in the world, but it's how those resources are distributed, which you can say it's something related to, in some cases, money, right?
Profit. Worked at the party, how can I say, caterer of the party.
As a caterer.
And after the party, we have to abandon a huge amount of food.
Oh yeah.
So it is that maybe one out of third food were just abandoned here.
Oh yeah. No, you could go to any restaurant here in my country, at least, or in Jamie's in my country. You could go to any restaurant. You could go to any restaurant and see the amount of food that's thrown away. You could go to grocery stores and where they have an expiration date on the stuff, and once it's past that, they throw it away. There's a place I go to sometimes to get coffee, and they have a big what I call display case with cakes and cookies, and they just put it there for 2 days to show the food, then they throw it away. Okay?
Yes.
That's why you have to buy it.
So, I think that there is a problem on that. Yeah. What I learned, actually, and this is China. China does a really good job. One thing I learned about in China, they don't waste very much stuff. Even their paper towel. Here in the United States, Jamie, right? We get a paper towel and we get a big sheet. Okay. When the Chinese kids were living with me, what they would do is they would take that sheet and they would make 4 separate sheets. And I would say, why do you do that? Well, because in China we don't waste anything, so we don't waste more than we need. Okay. Right? Because they're taught as children that these kind of resources are very precious, and they should.
Very smart over there, yeah.
And for us, to be honest with you, we waste a lot of stuff. We do.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyway.
Oh,
okay.
I think it's maybe it's a good topic for the future sessions.
Yeah, we could talk a long time about this stuff. I would like to also, for those that haven't had a chance, one of our members, Eliana, who is a park ranger at Copos National Park in Argentina, she is the only female park ranger at the park. If you want to learn a little bit more about